Dear students, welcome back to my channel. In this class, let us discuss about equipotential surfaces. So, in the last class, we have discussed about the concept of electric potential and electric potential difference. So, similarly, we have found the value of electric potential at a point due to an electric dipole, isn't it? Now, an interesting concept called equipotential surfaces. As the name itself indicates, see, the equipotential surfaces, it consists of three separate words. Equi means equal, potential means potential, surfaces means surfaces. Means the surfaces having same electric potential at all the points on them are called equipotential surfaces. You can get it for 1 mark in your examination. So what are equipotential surfaces? Means, so the surfaces on which each and every point has same electric potential are said to be equipotential surfaces. For example, if you consider an uniformly charged spherical shell, say for example, positive charges are here, which are uniformly distributed, not randomly. Okay. Now it is said to be a uniformly charged spherical shell. See, according to the concept of shell theorem, though the charges are present on the surface, we have to imagine them exactly at the center. Just like the concept of what? Center of mass. Yes. See, since it is a sphere, hollow sphere, and each and every point on the surface are at the same distance, that is nothing but radius. Therefore, as per this equation, V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R equation. Suppose the charge on the spherical shell is capital Q. Then, according to this equation, we can say that since R is constant here, Q is constant, R is also constant, we can say V is equal to constant. So, this condition enables us to conclude this surface is an equipotential surface. What is an equipotential surface? Any surface having same electric potential at all the points on it. So, is said to be an equipotential surface. Example, the surface of uniformly charged spherical shell. So, we can give this as an example for equipotential surface. Okay. Now, so let us discuss how these equipotential surfaces look in case of electric dipole, in case of uniform electric field, in case of two similar charges and all. First, I would like to say in case of an isolated charge. In case of an isolated charge, just like this. Though the charges are present over the surface of the sphere, here we consider it exactly at the center. So, just like that, let us take one isolated positive charge plus Q. We know that the direction of electric field from this isolated positive charge is outwards, which is radially outwards. It means what? They start from the charge and end at infinity, isn't it? See, I will take only this axis as the direction of electric field. Now, let us consider a point at a distance some small r along this direction. At this point, the electric potential is given by V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. Similarly, you take one more point at the same distance small r. Therefore, the potential at this point is equal to the potential at this point. Similarly, if you take the same points at the same distances r from the center, it means from that charge means, so what we can get here is a sphere On the board it looks like a circle, but actually strictly speaking it is not circle, it's a sphere, because the electric field lines from an isolated positive charges are three-dimensional picture. So they are possible in all directions, along x-axis, y-axis and also along z-axis. Therefore, similarly, if we take one more point at a distance of 2r from this charge, it means r from this point. Okay, so what we get again? An imaginary sphere like this. Therefore, we can conclude these two as the equipotential surfaces. Equipotential surfaces. If you name them as surface A and surface B, concept of equipotential surfaces says that VA is equal to constant on this sphere, VB is equal to constant, VA is equal to constant on sphere A, VB is equal to constant on sphere B. It doesn't mean that VA is equal to VB. It is not like that. VA is not equal to VB, because for this we take small r, for this we take 2r. Therefore, electric potential at this point is more compared to the electric potential at this point. Therefore, VA is greater than VB. Electric potential on the sphere A is greater than electric potential on the surface B, because of this inversely proportionality. V is inversely proportional to R. Less is the R, more is the potential. What the concept of equipotential surfaces says means, on this sphere A, the potential remains constant everywhere. Similarly, on the sphere B, the potential remains constant everywhere. Therefore, these two are equipotential surfaces. Again, I will tell you, it doesn't mean that potential of A is equal to potential of B. Its potential is different, its potential is different, but the potential is constant over this, and the potential here the constant over it. Okay, fine. So this is equipotential surfaces in case of an isolated charge. Similarly, in case of uniform electric field, we know that how can we represent a uniform electric field? With a set of parallel lines like this. See, here I will tell you one property of equipotential surfaces. Here, since it is the center of the sphere, any line drawn from the center to circumference gives us what it represents, normal. Therefore, here the angle could be 90 degree. Actually, it is not a sphere. Like that, if you take, this angle will be 90 degree. You can see everywhere, anywhere. The angle will be 90 degree. Here, in order to satisfy that condition, how I can draw the equipotential surfaces? Like this. These are the equipotential surfaces in case of uniform electric field. Why sir? Why we have to draw like this? Means, see, from where these electric field lines are coming? From positive charges. If you consider a positively charged plate here, a negatively charged plate here, means electric field lines are starting from positive and going towards the negative, isn't it? Therefore, from this positive plate, this surface, this plane is at the same distance. It means each and every point on this plane or on this surface are at the same distance from this positively charged plate. For example, if we take that wall as the positively charged wall, that wall as the negatively charged wall, if I consider one surface like this, each and every point on this surface will be at the same distance from that wall. Hence, this surface having same electric potential at all the points on it. Hence, it is an equipotential surface in case of uniform electric field. If I tilt like this means this point is at a certain distance which is not equal to this point. This point will be at a larger distance compared to this point, isn't it? Therefore, it has to be straight. So, here it is a plane surface like this actually, but I can't write it on the board, therefore I have just wrote like this. Okay. Next, third one. In case of an electric dipole. In case of an electric dipole, how does the equipotential surfaces look like? Means, see, this is the positive charge, this is the negative charge. These two equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is said to form an electric dipole. First, I will represent few electric field lines. Afterwards, I will tell you how to draw the equipotential surfaces. Okay, fine. Now, these are the electric field lines. See, one thing we have to keep in your mind, according to the property of equipotential surfaces, they are very close at strong electric field and well separated or farther apart at weak electric field. Like that, one property is there. As per that property, between these two charges, the electric field is more. Therefore, they will be very close. Like this. Similarly, here, like this we can write the equipotential surfaces. All these are equipotential surfaces. Between these two charges, the strength of electric field is maximum, hence they are very close. As we go away from the charges, the strength of electric field goes on decreases, therefore they are going to separate. They are well separated, or they are farther apart, like that we will say. Okay. Next, similarly, equipotential surfaces in case of two like charges, which is not mentioned in your syllabus, but try to keep it in your mind. Fourth one, in case of two similar charges. Okay. I will take positive charges. How does the electric field lines look in case of similar charges? Means positive charge, it is also positive charge, therefore like this. Next, some repulsion represented by these lines. Next, between these two electric charges, exactly at the center, the electric field will be 0, isn't it? That is the null point. So therefore, as we go away, the value of electric field goes on increases. Therefore, here they are well separated, like this. Like this, we usually represent the equipotential surfaces in case of two similar charges. Okay, these are the four cases, so which represent the equipotential surfaces for different conditions. That is for isolated charge, uniform electric field, in case of electric dipole, and the fourth one in case of similar charges. Next, important thing about this equipotential surface is the properties of equipotential surfaces, which are very important for 2 to 3 mark. Okay, so in the examination you may get a question like this. So list the properties of equipotential surfaces. or 3. Properties of equipotential surfaces. First property, what we can say? Each and every point on the equipotential surface has same potential. That is same electric potential. That is the first property of equipotential surfaces. Second property says that they never intersect. They never intersect with each other. They never intersect each other. And the third one, since V is equal to constant, what is dV? That is change in electric potential, that is equal to 0. Therefore, we have this formula W is equal to Q naught into delta V or dV. Since dV is equal to 0, W becomes 0. Therefore, what we can able to write the third property of equipotential surface as the work done in moving a charge on the equipotential surface is 0. Like that, we can draw the third property. Fourth one, what we can write means they are very close at strong electric field and they are farther apart at weak electric field. They are very close at strong electric field and farther apart or well separated at weak electric field. Like that, we can write the fourth property. So like this, we can otherwise. So one more property is there. So equipotential surfaces are always normal to the direction of electric field. Equipotential surfaces are normal to the direction of electric field. Like this, we can list 5 properties. I will repeat once again. So if you get the question like this, properties of equipotential surfaces to write. So first one we have to write like this. So equipotential surfaces have same electric potential at all the points on them. First property. Second property, they never intersect. That is, equipotential surfaces never intersect. The third one, so the amount of work done in moving a charge on them is 0. So fourth property says that they are very close at strong electric field regions and they are farther apart at weak electric field region. Similarly, the fifth one says that equipotential surfaces are always normal to the direction of electric field. Okay, fine. Next, let us discuss an important 3-mark derivation, that is relation between electric potential and electric intensity, or electric intensity and electric potential. Very, very important derivation. For 3-mark, relation between electric intensity and electric potential. As I said earlier, very, very important question for 3-mark. Please remember. Okay. Let us consider a uniform electric field like this, which is along positive x-axis. Now let us consider 2 equipotential surfaces. Like this. Say for example, this surface is A, this surface is B. The electric potential on this surface is VA, the electric potential on this surface is VB. These two are separated by a distance of some dx. Say for example, this point is O, this point is P. At point P, let us consider one charge plus Q naught. The amount of work done in moving Q naught from this point to this point or this point to this point is 0 according to the property. But we can move that charge from this point to this point because these are equipotential surfaces, but the potential of B is not equal to potential of A. Its potential is VA, its potential is VB. Okay, now, so just to take a look at this figure containing two equipotential surfaces A and B having electric potential values V and VB. I have marked 2 points on them, O on A and P on B. These 2 points are separated by a distance of dx. Now, see, the amount of work done to move the charge Q naught from P to O against electric field direction or opposite to the electric field direction is what? According to the definition, dW is equal to F into dx into cos theta. Since dx is the small distance, small amount of work is enough to move it from P to O. That is, the amount of work done to move the charge Q naught from P to O opposite to the direction of electric field is given by dW is equal to F into dx into cos theta. In place of F, according to the definition, we can write Q naught times E, because E is equal to F divided by Q naught, that we have read in the first chapter itself. Dx means dx only. What is cos theta? What is the angle between F and dx? Otherwise E and dx, that is opposite. Therefore cos 180 degree. This is Q naught E dx cos 180 is minus 1. Therefore it is minus Q naught E dx. This is dW. Next, we know that according to the definition of electric potential difference, what does the concept of electric potential difference says? Electric potential difference between 2 points in an electric field can be defined as it is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge from one point to another point against the electric field direction. Therefore, according to the definition of electric potential difference, we are moving that charge from P to O. Therefore, VA minus VB, the potential at A minus potential at B, because the potential at A will be larger compared to potential at B. Therefore, VA minus VB is equal to, it is the amount of work done to move that charge. What is the value of dW? The value of dW says minus Q naught E dx divided by Q naught. Q naught cancel. We can write VA minus VB as dV. Therefore, E is equal to minus dV divided by dx. This is the expression for relation between electric intensity and electric potential. We can also say this like this. In world syllabus, actually the question would have been show that electric intensity is equal to negative potential gradient, like that. Okay, this dV by dx is called potential gradient, and this negative sign represents the direction of electric field is along the decreasing potential. What? the direction, negative sign says that the direction of E is along decreasing potential. Okay, so like this, E is equal to minus dV by dx. The quantity dV by dx is called potential gradient. What is potential gradient? Yes, potential gradient means, so it is a concept with the distance. Therefore, dV by dx or potential gradient means the rate of change of electric potential with respect to the distance measured normal to the equipotential surfaces. See, here I have measured the distance normal to the equipotential surface. Therefore, so potential gradient means the rate of change of electric potential with respect to the distance measured normal to the equipotential surfaces. Okay, let me repeat once again. These two are the equipotential surfaces, A and B, having potentials VA and VB on them. I have marked 2 points O and P respectively on A and B. At P I have placed a unit positive test charge plus Q naught. It is my intention to move that charge from P to O against the electric field direction. Therefore, the amount of work done to move the charge Q naught from P to O against or opposite to the direction of electric field is given by, according to the definition, dW is equal to F dx cos theta. Here the angle between F and dx, F means indirectly E. Angle between E and dx is 180. Therefore, cos 180. Cos 180 is minus 1. Therefore, dW is equal to minus Q naught E dx. And we know that according to the definition of electric potential difference, VA minus VB, that is potential difference between A and B, is nothing but amount of work done to move that charge, dW divided by Q naught. Therefore, VA minus VB, I have wrote it as dV. So next, Q naught cancels, and remaining thing is E is equal to minus dV divided by dx. dV by dx is called potential gradient. Potential gradient means the rate of change of electric potential with respect to the distance measured normal to the equipotential surfaces. And negative sign says that the direction of electric intensity or electric field is along the decreasing potential. As we come like this, the potential goes on decreases, it seems. That is, potential at A is greater than potential at B. If you take one more surface here, the potential decreases. So like that. Moreover, one more important concept, dV by dx is a purely vector quantity. Since electric field is a vector, dV by dx has to be a vector, isn't it? Therefore, potential gradient is a vector quantity. Okay. Anyhow, so thanks for watching.